Good morning, everybody. Matt from Blaze Capital here. So today we're going to go over the VWAP, as some people will use for day trading or for good entries and exits. So what the VWAP is, it's the volume weighted average price. It's calculated by taking the dollars traded for every transaction and then multiplied by the number of shares traded and then divided by the total number of shares traded. So what does this tell us? So it gives us a good indication of both price and volume, which are both very important in basically any indicator or any trade. So it's only available intraday. So if you go to the daily chart, it's not going to show up properly. The reason being is it's calculated, it resets every day at the open. So with any indicator, you can't rely solely on the VWAP. However, it is a very important tool, and I'll explain that as we go, because it encompasses two very important things, and it gives us a lot of information with just one line, which is really important. So for argument's sake, it's bullish or uptrending above the line, and bearish or downtrending below the line. It also acts as support and resistance. So it's generally like a pretty good place to like take profits or like initiate a position. So if we look at Friday, I actually missed this SPY trade. I was trading, what was I trading? NVIDIA, I think. Anyways, oh no, sorry, it was Alibaba. That's what I traded on Friday. So right here, it back tested. This is probably support somewhere if we scroll back. So right there, back tested support, and then it got back over the VWAP here, and then we went from 287.90 to 288.40. So if you had 10 contracts, you probably would have made, I don't know, roughly like $300-400 on that trade if you had some SPY options. And then, so it was pretty bullish on Friday, so it just kind of back tested under the VWAP here, and then back over. However, if we go back and look at some other examples, there's a lot of head fakes, so if we get a gap up and then it'll fade down, if it crosses under the VWAP and can't hold it. So last week, as you can see, was in general pretty bullish. Here's a good example. So here we gapped up, big red candle, went up a little bit here, and then under the VWAP just sank most of the day here. So that was over $1 move, $1.50 move there in the S&P, and it didn't even try and back test. And then once we get over the VWAP, it was reasonably bullish towards the end of the day. Another reason why the VWAP works really well is it kind of works as a magnet, or like mean reversion. So a lot of the big institutions, they will initiate their buys and sells above or below in order to try and drag the stock back towards the VWAP, and then they're not going to create too much of a movement in the price. So with the S&P, there's so many people trading it, it's not going to have as great of an effect. But if we take a look at some of the like smaller companies, then you'll notice it a little bit more. So traders will generally use this as more of a moving average tool. So if it's above bullish, if it's below bearish, like I was saying earlier. And then again, I've noticed it acts as pretty strong support and resistance, so it generally follows this pretty good for the most part. So that's just a way to look at either taking profits or like using it as a stop loss tool or whatever suits your trading style. So you don't solely want to rely on this. You want to combine this with some of the other tools we've looked at: Bollinger Bands, supports and resistance lines, trend lines. But it just works as a pretty good tool in your toolkit, so that you don't try and have a long position and then have it just tank all day. So like here, we like gap down, tested the VWAP, failed, tested the VWAP again, failed, and then we sank all the way down. So you wouldn't want to be trying to initiate calls under this position, like under here, because the risk reward's not very good. And then if we look at here, gap down, got over the VWAP, and just ramped all day. So if you would have bought some calls right around here, you would have had a pretty solid move there. And then other days, it's just going to track pretty much right along the VWAP and not really get too much volatility, which isn't bad. Those days usually end up more of a doji. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. We'll just take a look at a couple more volatile stocks here. So Boeing, we'll do Boeing. Boeing's been pretty volatile lately. There we go. So as you can see here, so this was Thursday. I traded this on Thursday. Actually, pretty much exactly what happened here. So where's the support was somewhere around 391, right around there. So we had a massive bullish engulfing candle, like, so it ramped up all the way to 389 and then didn't even backtest, just kept ramping. So I was tempted to enter a position here, but I've learned from in the past that you just can't chase moves like this because you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes they just come up, go outside the Bollinger Bands, and then get smashed back down. So what I did was I waited for it to come up here, cool off the indicators, back tested support, and then we're back over the VWAP. I entered my position right here, around 392. I had nine contracts, I think, for calls. I bought 392.50s, I think, and then I sold them up around here. I put in a stop loss. I think I made around 1,400 that day, so that was a pretty solid trade. I was combining with some other indicators. It was getting pretty overbought on the Bollinger Bands and RSI, and then as you can see here, mean reversion, back down to the VWAP, and then had a pretty strong close. And then Friday, I think more news comes out. There's just news every day here, so it's been a really good day trading vehicle, but it's still a little too hesitant to hold that one overnight. So we'll just scroll back here a bit more, just look a bit more data here. So here, this was really bullish this day too. This is when it went from 384 all the way up to 392-ish. So gap up, back test. This is probably support somewhere if we scroll back. Yeah, right around there. Oh, too low. There. So back test support, got over the VWAP, back tested VWAP again, and then went up. So there you go. Just another tool to add to your toolkit, and now we know why it's made and why it's such a good tool to have in your toolkit. Awesome. Any questions, shoot me a message. Thanks, guys. Let's make some money.